It's now time to call upon our next guest of honor, and it's my immense privilege to introduce you to Miss Inoshi Sharma, the Executive Director at the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, FSSAI. With a focus on public health, Ms. Sharma has been at the forefront at numerous initiatives aimed at improving food safety, promoting healthier eating habits, and encouraging sustainable consumption through FSSAI's flagship campaigns like Eat Safe, Eat Healthy, Eat Sustainable, and under her guidance, FSSAI has tackled critical issues like foodborne illnesses, which cost the economy billions annually. We have ma'am with us, and we would now like to felicitate. Let's welcome the dignitaries from RAI on the stage. Mr. Biju Kurian, our chairman, sir. Kumar Rajagopalan, our CEO, sir. Mr. Gautam Jain, our director, sir. And Ms. Palak Sapra. And it's a perfect picture. Let's welcome Ms. Inoshi Sharma, the Executive Director, FSSAI. Ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to first thank the Retailers Association of India for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to, have an interaction with all of you. Many of you would have heard about the Food Safety Standards Authority of India, particularly when you have to get a license or a registration. But after that, by and large, you may have heard about it once in a while, or when a news outbreak happens about some sort of adulteration or some other news, and then you get to know, okay, there's something called FSSAI. Most people you would have, spoken to are not even aware what FSSAI is, or where do they see the name of the FSSAI on a packaged material. But let me tell you that food is something so integral to all of us while we are in business of selling food products or not, because we are still providing food to our employees, right? So even if you are into a retail, say clothes or shoes, your employees are still going to eat food. And probably they're going to eat food from a tuck shop in your outlet or somewhere just down the road, right? And the kind of food that they eat and how healthy or safe it is, what indirectly actually affects your work culture also. You don't want employees who are going to fall sick too often, right? So there are 2-3 things that I wanted to talk about, which should interest you, I hope so. The first, of course, I'm going to start off for those who are directly into the retail of food items. There are 2-3 things that, we need to take care of. They're very obvious. But being in the FSSAI, these are issues which have come about, and you must have read about them in the social media. So recently, there were certain, you could just say, surveillance checks which were done of warehouses or of certain retail outlets, and it was found that certain expired goods were being kept. Now, this is something that particularly during the festive season, a lot of complaints were received by us, where consumers had online asked for a certain product, and it had come to them with very little shelf life or had expired. So there is a slight, distinction between products which are available online, because there the shelf life has to be 45 days or 30%, right? But when I come to a retail shop and I'm facing the shop, then of course it does not have to follow this guideline. But even then, you see, FIFO is a principle which is followed across the industry, right? In any retail industry, and particularly so in food. And what we really need to be conscientious about is also that today social media is such a powerful tool that any one message of any one outlet can actually play havoc on your sales. So it is something that has to be taken care of. The second is, how do you display your product? Obviously, you display it. You just have a rack. You probably, if you're a big retail outlet, you've already given it out to the company. They come and place their goods. But suppose it's not clean, it's not hygienic. There are cockroaches roaming around, there are rats roaming around. What kind of a consumer experience do I get? So even if the product is packed, but it is in an unhealthy, unhygienic condition, it is something that does not, give us a lot of confidence. Now, what had happened recently was, if you heard of certain news reports, a very big company which provides online food and other goods also, their warehouse was kept in an unhealthy and an unhygienic manner. So there were food items strewn around, there were non-food items kept with that, and everything was in a haphazard manner. There was no cleanliness. Now, this is something that needs to be taken care of, particularly by big stores, because there the flow of goods is huge, it's voluminous. For a person who's got a small retail outlet, you have greater control over it, because you know exactly how much a particular community or that area would need, and you only stock that much. And you're taking care of the products which are available in your store. But for bigger outlets, one, you are always experimenting with new products. They may not move from the shelf. Then how do you discard those products? So maintaining that chain of having products with shelf life as well as disposing of those products which are not moving is something that needs to be taken care of. Now, let's come to the second aspect. What do you do for the food of your employees across industry? So I'm not now just talking about retail of food. I'm also talking about any kind of retail and how you take care of your employees. So as part of the Eat Right initiative of FSSAI, which was talked about, one of the things that we really lay emphasis is on eating healthy. So healthy food is also something that, is considered boring, but it is something which in the long run ensures our health, right? So what kind of food options are provided to employees? A lot of times, there will be big retail outlets who will, catch hold of a thali system, and just provide that. And it'll usually have some rich dal, some paneer, some aloo ki sabzi, dahi with bundi, roti and chawal, everything which is loaded with carbohydrates, very little protein. So what kind of a balanced diet are we really looking at? What is the seasonal local food which is available, which we can have? I travel across the country and I have a lot of discussions with people across various industry also. And I find that whenever I travel to the east or to the south, the connection with food in terms of what is local and seasonal is more. In the north, it is so restricted. You will always get aloo gobi or mixed veg korma, paneer, kali dal, and then biryani. That's it. ज़्यादा luxurious होना है तो आलू पूरी, छोले कुलचे, चना भटूरा. I'm not being critical, mind you, because I'm Punjabi, I love all this food. But what I find interesting is I kind of find this kind of food every time I go out. There's never a change. And I eat out so many times. Like if I were to stay here and eat the buffet food here, I'm sure I'll get this food only. So what kind of a mindset are we changing? So if I were to think about retail outlets, it's what kind of food are we giving to people when they come for a meeting or a conference? So if you were to go out somewhere, unless you had coffee with cookies, it just wouldn't go, right? You need to have cookie or samosa or a pakoda. There's no other option that is there. So in my office, the day I'm not in office, you know what people say, आज मैडम नहीं है, छोटा ना मिनी समोसा खा लेते हैं मीटिंग में, क्योंकि जब वो होगी तब तो हमें मखाना या चने खाने पड़ेंगे. So, I kind of appreciate it, people saying that, because once in a while everybody wants to have a cheat day. But on a regular basis, what I find really interesting is that people, when they are eating this kind of food during meetings, at least they're not feeling sluggish. Nobody's yawning away to glory or looking like, oh my God, when is this meeting going to end? It's terrible. At least everybody's alert, right? And that's what you expect when you are having a meeting. So that is the second aspect I wanted to talk about. And the third most fundamental aspect comes is, if you have an outlet, then the people who are preparing food, the food handlers, how much of a training or sensitivity do they have? So I'll just give you a very small example. You will all be able to relate with me. When we had COVID, all of us knew that we have to sneeze or cough like this. But now whenever you go anywhere, like to the airport, achoo, it just goes like that, right? And it's incredible how people are so used to, sneezing here or there, not realizing there could be people all around, right? And they could get affected with the germs that you sneeze out. But that's what human beings are. We get paranoid when some outbreak happens, and then we just forget. So think about it. If your food handlers are cooking food every day, they would fall into a certain routine, and maybe many times they are just oblivious to the hygiene factors that need to be taken into account. It's not deliberate. I'm not saying it is. A lot of times we forget to wash hands before eating. We don't always carry our hand sanitizers, and if we're hungry, we just eat food and rush off for work. That's very, very natural. But what is fundamental is, if once in a while, so when I say once in a while, ideally every 3 months, a short course can be provided. There are so many online courses available. Within FSSAI, we have a lot of online videos which are available, which can just be shown to your employees, or they can be asked to just sort of revise what are, say, the 10, 20 steps that need to be taken care of so that safety hygiene protocols are maintained. So these are 3 aspects that I thought I really needed to highlight. Now, besides just the very obvious things about safety, I also just wanted to highlight that because we have people in retail over here, so any retailer under the FSSAI category can now get Tatkal license, which means it's immediate. The second is you can instantly modify your license. And the third is you can instantly renew your license. So if your license is going to expire, you can renew it for up to 5 years. You want to modify your license, add another kind of a business, you can do that instantaneously. If you're opening a new retail outlet, you can get instant license. So these are some of the things that we've introduced just for the purpose of ease of doing business. So with that, I'd like to thank you all. Okay.